Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. Oh, let me change the title up there. I am glad to be here again this evening. I'm going to start cooking tonight. We're going to make some chicken and Oh, I need to turn that off. We're going to make chicken and dumplings. I was watching Noisy Boy Jr. and his significant other, Noisy Girl. Oh, let me mute that. I was watching Noisy Boy Jr. and his significant other, Noisy Girl, actually do Animal House quotes. So that is why I am late to the stream tonight. They are hilarious. You should go check them out. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And if you happen to see this, Noisy, Claire, thanks for a great stream. And I will come back and catch you guys if I can get this done quick enough. Unfortunately, tonight we're making chicken and dumplings, which is fortunate for me, but unfortunate in that it takes a little while. And so we're going to try and do it relatively quickly. But that being said, it doesn't always go as fast as you would like it to. So first things first, we are thawing the chicken in the sink right now. I've got it in its bag and it's in warm water. We'll make sure the water's staying nice and warm. If you thaw chicken in a plastic bag submerged in water, like we talked about the last stream, it thaws it a lot quicker, and because the chicken is in the bag, it doesn't get all weird, nasty, stringy because it's been exposed to the water. Now I am going to get out some eggs and flour, and we are going to start mixing up the dumpling dough real quick. One other thing about this particular recipe, now I tend to like turkey and dumplings, but I have chicken for the meat tonight, and there's nothing wrong with chicken and dumplings, but I like the flavor of turkey and dumplings, so instead of chicken stock, I got this, turkey stock. Pretty good, huh? Now, we're going to want some eggs. And celery and carrots and onions and all that good stuff. So, hang on. Hold, please. There we go. Now, we've got some little carrots and celery. We just want to put those in with the chicken when we cook it to give it a little flavor. I'm going to get the flour real quick and have it ready. And I'm also going to get an apron because I like this sweater and I don't feel like getting it stuffed full of paste. So, I'll be right back. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Always wear an apron in the kitchen to keep you from getting schmutz all over you. Well, if I can get it untangled. There we go. I'm well prepared tonight, aren't I? So, flour. Be right back. Okie dokie, we have all-purpose flour, we've got eggs, we've got turkey broth, we have got celery, carrots, and chicken is thawing, so we're not going to worry about that for the moment. What we are going to do is cut up some of these carrots and celery real fine. Now, again, I am outfitted with these little bitty ones, which, you know, are great for a snack, but not so much for cutting up. So what you do is you divide them in half so that they don't roll all over the place. those three look like they could be washed a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. Just to make sure that they're fit to eat and they taste good. So how are you guys doing this evening? Oh, it's Miss Duffy! Oh, shoot. Let me change the thing. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna change that to creative. Thanks for the catch, Shame. I really appreciate that. Except it's not changing. Why isn't it changing? Change to creative, please. Well, I don't know why I can't change it. I keep changing it to creative and hitting done, and then it won't change. Give me a moment. So how you guys doing this evening? You can chat to me or amongst yourselves while I fix this. Creative. Done. Please change. Creative. Done. So I'm trying real hard to change it to creative and it won't change. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There it goes! Woo! Alright, we are on a creative stream, as is apparent by the apron. So let's get cooking. I did have to reset my browser, so whatever you guys said to me is kind of missing at the moment, so I'm sorry about that. Just say it to me again, and I will answer, I promise. In the meantime, let's get back to chopping up some carrots. I've hit something wrong again. Tonight's not starting out real smooth. We want these real finely chopped, okay? Because we're putting them in with some broth, and they're just going to kind of augment the soup. We don't really need it. We don't really need them big or crunchy or anything like that. We just want them to impart a little carrot flavor into things, which is why I don't have a whole bunch of them. I just have like 2 or 3 little bitty carrots here. And we're not getting a whole bunch of them. Well, that and carrots this size are going to be a total pain to cut up in any kind of large quantity. Not that I can't or wouldn't, but it's easier not to have to. So let's get us a bowl, stick these in it, and start working on our celery. Take the carrots back to the refrigerator real quick. And here goes our celery. Knock the tops off of this. The celery's a little easier to deal with because you can just slice it real thin from the end. I like the leaves. Some people don't, but I do. That piece is not all that great looking, so we're going to take it out of the rotation. There we go, that's enough. All right, there we go. Now let's check on our chicken real quick here and see what's going on with it, because once it gets thawed enough, we're going to cut it up and start cooking it. It's not ready yet, but what I am going to do is drain the water off of it and fill it up again so that it gets some warmth going on real quick. I'd hoped it would be finished before I started streaming, and it's not, but that's okay, because we've got other things to occupy our attention. We're going to grab a bowl to start making the dumpling dough real quick. And here we have one. So, this part doesn't get too messy just yet. Let me start this water going. We're just going to take some flour and put it in our bowl. Whoa, that's too much. My bag tore. Yeah, that's all right. We will scoop some of that out of there, and we will use it to flour the counter while we roll out the dough. But what we are going to want to do is scoop a little bit of it out of there. There we go. See, all's well that ends well. I'm going to leave this out for cutting up the chicken. Although, if we are going to cut up chicken, we do need to get all of these dry ingredients out of the way. Yes, they are all going to get cooked, and they are all going to get cooked together, but you really don't want dry ingredients mixing with raw chicken. It's never, ever a good idea. So, we're going to set up for making our dumpling broth, and to do that, you know what, let's use one of the stock pots. Maybe even the big one. There we go, big old cast iron stock pot. It's not my prettiest, but it's my biggest. We're not going to add the turkey, well, maybe a little bit, just so we don't run out. A little turkey stock in the bottom of that. Actually, put about half of the box in there. The rest of this is going to go into the dumplings. So, dumpling dough. You have your bowl of flour, and I'm going to try and, well, I'll take you over to the stove cam so you guys can see this. You take your flour, and you make a nice divot in it. Let me make it so you guys can see both of these things. I'm sorry, tonight I'm not that well organized, but take your fist and make a divot in the middle of the dough. Then what you're going to do is get you a couple of eggs. And I have 2 left, which will be perfect. I don't normally use white shelled eggs because they tend to shatter a little more violently, but that's okay. Now, when you put these in here, let these nestle in that little pit that you just made in there, okay? Now we are going to get some salt and pepper. Yeah. We got our pepper. And we got our salt. Take a looky here. Yeah. And notice I'm keeping it all in that little crater in the middle. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start folding it from there. Now we add a little milk. There we go. Now it's kind of started to overflow your crater a little bit. Let's bring this back over here where I can stir it up. But I kind of wanted you guys to be able to see down into the bowl to figure out what the ratios look like and how it was all coming together. So we get us a fork. And we just kind of start whisking the egg first to break it up a little bit. And the stuff in the middle will start to kind of turn into a little slurry paste. And then you start working your way outwards and folding more and more flour into it. Let me bring it over here for you. So just start from the middle and start bringing the rest into it. And it will start to make a dough. And you can add more milk and more water and more egg and all that stuff to kind of thicken it up or thin it down if you need to. But it should thicken up into kind of a gluey paste, and you want to cut your fork all the way through it to kind of knead it, because that's how you get that gluten and that binder to go together and make it turn into a dumpling. Because at the end of this, what you want to be able to do is pick it up into a ball and knead it in your hand and then roll it around. So I'm going to set that there for just a second, because it is probably time to deal with our chicken. So let me actually set this aside for a second, because we are going to want a pan. Let's cut up our chicken real quick. Oop, I keep hitting the button on that. There we go. Chicken and dumplings are kind of an involved thing to make, even if you are really paying attention to what you're doing. Trying to stream them is kind of a new experience. Also, our bag has developed a small leak. That's okay. By the way, Shane, thanks again for tipping me off to the stream title thing. There we go. All right, nice cubelets of chicken. I'm going to set these over there real quick and get the rest of them. We're going to make a lot so that there's plenty of food for several days. That's the way to do this. There we go. Perfect. You'll notice I have not turned on the stove yet, because I don't have any butter in it yet. So it's not time to get it hot, because I don't want it sticking to the pan. And hey Dab, good to see you. How you doing? Nice to have you here. Feel free to lurk away. I'm just getting out a big honkin' roll of butter. Let's get this milk over here. And a knife. Here we go. Just tuck that up under there. We can go ahead and start that. Now we're going to spice up this chicken with salt and pepper. And you could probably stop there, But I want some celery salt on it, which I think is too bad because I think I'm out of celery salt. And I am, so we're going to put a little bay leaf powder instead. Well, if I can get any to come out. There we go. Okay. Now, while the chicken cooks, we wipe down our counter because we are going to be using the counter as a place to roll out the dough. And you want it clean. There we go. Here. Alrighty. Now, just give it a quick wipe down. And there we have it. So, what I do want to do, let me get this dried a little bit. I will put down a one of these kind of cutting boards just to try and make it easier to clean up the flour when we're all done with this. But it doesn't, not really. Oh, not Amish butter, it's just the great big roll of butter I picked up at Jungle Jim's. I actually forget what kind it is. Let me look, actually. It is... Troyer brand roll butter, and given the logo on it, it might be Amish butter. It doesn't expressly say that it is, but you know, if it looks like the Amish and tastes like the Amish, it's probably Amish. Or just as good. So, actually, y'all follow me over here. I'm going to check on this chicken. There we go. A while ago, I had some really good butter. It was a big roll of sheep's milk butter. And that was really good. And I wish I had some more because it was really tasty, although it was kind of expensive. But, you know, you've got to eat every day, so you might as well make it delicious. Let's see here. We're just going to let that cook down, and we are going to start rolling out our dumpling dough. So, nice area here. Remember when I talked about flouring it? Well, we're gonna. There we go. Keep that handy because we're going to need more of it. And something to do with my towel too. Now let's just finish kneading this. Oh, also, stick your hands in the flour so the dough doesn't stick to your hands. And you can kind of push the dough in now and start to kind of sop up some extra flour on it if it's still kind of sticky and hard to work with. And knead it through just so you get it dry enough to be workable. So look at here. See that? How it's still kind of flaky, but it stretches Well, that's good. Just knead that a little bit and set it there. And go get a drink for the carrot that's stuck in your throat. The trick is washing it off your hands, touching something else, and then coming back. Give me half a second, guys. Wonder if this is still good. Have some delicious tarkun. Russian tarragon flavored soda. Of course, mine's got flat, but I still didn't get that carrot out of there. Oh well. All right. Flour your hands again. And start to push this out a little bit. Now, you can see my mistake already, because when I roll this out to be really big, it's going to be, or really thin, it's going to be way too big. So why don't we take half of it and stick it back in the bowl there. Actually, maybe a little more. Now we flour the top of it real good, and we get us a nice rolling pin. Also, I am keeping an eye on the chicken. It just doesn't seem like it. There we go. Roll it out gently. And there you have it. All right, so I'm going to set that there, and we're going to go and check on this chicken. Now, you got flour all over your hands, but because it's flour, you shouldn't be sticky. Your dough should not be sticking to your hands, so just a little quick rinse and wipe, and you're clean. See? Good stuff. Yeah, the chicken is getting there, but it's not quite there. And you know what else we need in this, and I'm not even kidding, is some onion powder. There we go. That'll be tasty now. So tell me honestly, Dab, does this apron make my ass look fat? Well, that's good stuff right there. See how it's starting to caramelize on the side of the pan? That's good. I want all the chicken to do that. I want little brown, golden, crispity edges on all of my chicken. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is the good stuff. Now, we're going to wait for that to finish. We are going, you know what? We should probably light the broth because it needs to get warm. We should also throw the, oh, they're over here. We should also throw the vegetables into the broth. Because vegetables. You can also throw the vegetables into the chicken, it doesn't matter. That would have been another good thing to do. Because they'll cook down and saute with it, but live and learn. While that finishes, I'm going to do something about this chicken in the sink. Well, this chicken bag in the sink. The less things that are contaminating your work area, the better. That's going down the laundry chute. And we get a fresh one. Oh, now that's starting to look real good. Yeah, see how it's caramelized to the edges? We're going to want to deglaze that with just a little bit of water. There we go. That was a little bit too much of water, but you know. Thank you. And yes, I probably should. Of course, what I am recording with is a little cheap tablet laptop, and it's got like a little USB extension cable that runs all the way around my kitchen and goes to the stove cam. So when I get a little more invested in this and get my house and things sewed up, then I'm gonna maybe invest in a lav mic. Of course, I've got plenty of USB mics downstairs in the studio, so I could probably pull one of those out if I wasn't so doggone lazy. By the way, how are you and Maya this evening? And if she's around, tell her I said hi. Oh, streamers, yes. Guys, Dab is a streamer, and I don't know that my channel does caster calls or anything like that, but go check out his channel, subscribe, follow him. He's awesome. All right. This is about done, and I don't want it to get tough, so I'm going to put it aside. The trick is I want to move the broth into its place, and I don't really have a good way of doing that without balancing these things all precariously, so we're just going to hope it doesn't all go over. There we go. Okie dokie. Let's let the juice drain off of that. And there we are. Some delicious looking turkey broth. Don't want that high. The great thing about these cast iron ceramic coated pans is that they retain a lot of heat and that they do it well. The bad thing is the ceramic and the cast iron heat up and cool at slightly different rates. So if you don't have a very good, very well made one, it can crack. So always be careful how high you turn it up, and don't dash a bunch of cold water in while they are hot. That being said, we need more broth and water in there. And since we have used all the broth that we needed in the dumpling dough, we can turn right around and add all the rest of it into here. Yeah, there we go. Well, it'll all come out in a minute. There we are. Now, I am just going to let that sit there, and I'm going to show you guys how to cut up dumplings. Now, I have something really, really cool here. It is a pie wheel. And it's not just any pie wheel, it's an old pie wheel. Now, this is not the one that belonged to my grandmother. My dad's mom. She died in 1990, in the spring, actually. So it's been a long time. But she always used to make chicken and dumplings, and she had a pie wheel exactly like this that she would use to cut the dough. That one is currently in my dad's possession, as it should be. This one, on the other hand, is a replica. Well, not a replica. It's another one of the same kind. That after years and years of looking, I was able to find I think on eBay, or at an antique shop or something like that. But it's just a little pie wheel. It cuts the little fluted edges around things, and then you can push the side of the pie down with this. But what we're going to use it for today is to cut these dumplings. Oop, excuse me. So, away we go. And I'm trying to do this so you can see it, but I am left-handed and I'm trying to cut it right-handed, so there we go. Aren't those gonna be pretty? Ta-da! Well, those two could probably be, yeah. All right. Look at that. Can you guys see that? Those are just perfect little, well, let's lift one up here for you to see, preferably one from the middle to where you can see the pattern on it. How about that, huh? All right, so all we have to do now is to get the broth over here hot enough to dump these in. So let's go check on it, and I'll be right back. Actually, I'll check on you guys first to give that time to warm up, and let me see what you guys are up to, and then we'll see what's going on with the broth. You guys are chilling and sitting tight. I like that. Now there's steam coming up off of this, but it's not quite there yet. Good news is the chicken, that's ready. And we will dump that in a bit. But what I want to do is get the broth hot and the dumplings started, because I don't want them sticking to the chicken and making these weird little, like, matzo ball looking things as the dough clings to the chicken cubes. So what we're going to do instead is get the dumplings into the broth and let them start to kind of gel and thicken up and, you know, get some substance to them, and then we'll add the chicken in and we'll let it all finish up. Plus we might need to add some water depending on how many dumplings we wind up with. I also see that my little thing is just spinning over there, so if I'm not online anymore, someone please tell me. But let's see. Yeah, I'm dropping frames, but that's okay. We'll live. Hello. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, I can hear it starting to go at the bottom and bubble. So what we're going to do is we are going to load some of these up. Now, I like to get a knife. All my forks have fallen into my knives. And just show you guys this. Gently lift these up. And you can just lift them off of the thing. And you can carry a whole bunch of them if you're real careful. There we go. Just don't get them so heavy that they all stick together, because then you have to dump a whole great big blob of dumpling into the water and it doesn't really work. All right, come with me. Now, don't dump them too close to each other. They need a second to start solidifying. And if you put them too close to each other, again, the minute they get wet, they glue together and they turn into a great big blob. There we go. This is a bit fancy schmancy chicken and dumplings. I normally don't do all the carrot and celery stuff, but I was kind of in the mood for something a little hearty this evening. And so I kind of built my vegetable serving into my carb serving with that. Plus, the idea was given to me by Noisy Boy Jr. and his significant other, Claire, who are both wonderful people and who are making their own version of dumplings, and they were using vegetable noodles, and I thought, well, gee, that sounds wonderful. I want to make some chicken and dumplings myself, and by golly, adding vegetable to them sounds like a wonderful idea. So that's what I did. Now, as you can see, we're running a little tight on room in here for more dumplings. So I'm going to let those go a bit. Oh, 2 more dumplings. I'm going to let those go a bit so that the dumplings in there solidify. Then I'm going to add a little more water to it. And while I let them go, I'm going to roll out the next batch of dumplings. So let's get our water ready just so that we can throw it in there. Then I'll give you guys yet another crash course on. You can also reach in here and give these a little bit of stir so that the ones on the top get some liquid on them. Stir them a couple of times so that they don't stick. You know, you make sure that they don't settle together and stick before they've hardened up a bit. See, they're already looking like dumplings. Isn't it wonderful? So I'm going to turn that down just, actually, no, I'm not going to turn it down just a little bit. I'm going to leave it exactly where it is, and I'm going to add a little water to it. That's the ticket, because these are hard enough now to accommodate a little cold water, and while it warms back up, we'll get the other half of them. I also see that I'm buffering again. I'm sorry. Okay. So, let's get ourselves some dumpling dough. Cover it with the flour. I've got like plenty of this stuff left, so I might get some water or broth or crack egg in there and make a little more, because there's plenty. Uh-oh, we got something going on the floor. So roll it out about as wide as your mat, and then start going long ways with it. And just kind of try and make it as even as you can. I never used a French pin until I was well into my adult life. When I was learning to cook, it was always the standard style pin where you had the dowel rod through a big heavy roller. And those are nice, but I really do enjoy a French pin as well. Alright, look at that. It's a thing of beauty. It's time to cut it. Actually, that's a little thick, so let's... Yep. Whoa. There we are. There we go. Pie wheel. Works great. Look at all our little dumplings. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, now we can go and dump them into our broth, which we should stir. All right. Also, Also, seriously, if I'm still online, someone please tell me. All right. When it gets a little full like this, what you can do is you can stack them up on the top a little bit and then give it a stir for a second or two just to make sure they don't stick while they get hot enough to start solidifying. And I'll show you that in just a second. Yeah, see, they're all kind of nestling on the top. Well, we don't want them sticking, so just give them a stir and keep stirring long enough to keep them sliding off of one another until they start to harden up a bit. Because we don't want them sticking to each other, the sides of the pan, or heaven forbid the bottom of the pan, where they are really difficult to deal with. Okie dokie. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Now, like I said, I've still got some, and plenty of flour left. So I'm going to add a little water to here. And watch this, ladies and gents. Let me show you this. See? There's plenty left in there. And, you know, there's still a little bit of doughy consistency there. What you do is you take a little bit of your stuff from in here. And you go ahead and you put it right on in there. And you can make some more dumplings out of that. You got to be careful when you do that, though, because this is going to be hot. Like, really hot. But you get more food. Here we go. I can kind of show you how to knead this stuff a little better now that it's out in the open. All right. Again, like I said, be careful, because it is going to be hot and a little bit sticky at this point. So, again, we get us a nice little dough ball. See, look at all those dumplings we're going to have because of this. See, these are a little stickier and harder to deal with than the main batch, but that's okay. Just fold it a few times and knead it. Push it together. And now we'll roll it out. See, it's going to start sticking. You don't really want that, but it's kind of inevitable in this case. Get some flour on your hands and it'll help with that. Look, 8 more dumplings. 8 more delicious dumplings. That's an entire serving. Isn't that cool? Here we go. Let's go get these in the pot and then I'll clean this mess up. The pot's getting a little too hot, so I'm going to turn it down. Uh-oh. We got one sticking to the bottom. I can feel it. That's tasting good. Needs a little more water, though. There we go. And last, but not least, You guys remember that chicken we cooked up? Well, it's time to put it in. There we go. Now, all that's left is to clean this stuff up before it coagulates. And that we are going to hurry up and do. Which I know is not entirely entertaining, but come on over here anyway. It'll give you something to do while the stuff cooks. All right. Now, like I said about 100 times to you guys before, you don't really want to let things sit, and this is really no exception, because flour and water are the ingredients to what? Anyone? That's right, paste. And it will be a pain to clean up later this evening or tomorrow or whenever you procrastinate too. So best just to get it out of your hair right now. Plus, I mean, we're not really going anywhere until that stuff finishes cooking, so we are in no hurry. Okay. There we go. Still got a spot on there. See? See what I mean? I let it sit this whole time while we were talking, and now I'm working 5 times as hard as I normally do to get this pan clean. If you get it right when it's still blazing hot, it comes right off. There we go. Much better. I also see my stream over there is lagging like crazy, but that's okay. Thanks, Dab. I appreciate that. I will get this thing clean eventually. Well, let's check on that. Yeah. Look at that, guys. Uh-oh. Getting a little stickage here. Stir it really well and make sure that things don't stick. Okay. There we are. We need something with a scrubber. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, I might not be meticulous about cleaning everything, but my pans are one thing that I am. My office, not so much. All right, now. We'll work on the rolling pin here, and then we will check on our chicken. So what are you guys up to this evening? Anyone up to anything interesting, good? Anyone got anything good to report today? Anyone got good news? Anyone just had a decent day? Or the opposite, anyone got anything they want to gripe about? Although, you know, griping is necessary and griping is therapeutic, but and when you need to, you need to. But when you're done griping, remember, stand up, move forward, and figure out where to go from there. Although I will be the first to tell you, if anyone tells me not to gripe about something like 5 seconds after I start in on a real good gripe about something, there's nothing more irritating. But of course, you know, I mean, when I complain, I don't really complain. just sometimes you gotta get something off your chest and then you move on. That's how life works. So if you guys need to gripe, that's cool too. Oh, gotta stir this. There we go. Look at all those beautiful dumplings, y'all. All those beautiful dumplings which could frankly use some salt. And pepper. Now that looks like a lot when I just rest it on top like that, but bear in mind it has to go all the way to the bottom of the pan. And so, in the grand scheme of things, it ain't really a lot. There we go. Ha ha, look at that. You guys can also see that my stove has become a wreck. But I knew what I was getting into going into this. Perfect. So, this mess needs addressed. Away with our butter. Egg carton's empty. Show you guys how to clean a kitchen real quick. Get your dishwasher open so you can get to it real fast. Stack up your bowls. Get them in there. Ramekins on the side, secondary bowls in the middle, knives on the top, cutting boards on the bottom. Excuse me. Eggshells. Be right back with those. Now that is a mess. And you don't want to put that down your sink. That is why they invented towel paper. Let me go get rid of this and I'll be right back. There we go. Now with only a little residue left in this, you can certainly wash that out. So we scour that out without any risk of clogging up our sink. While doing it, we keep an eye on our dumplings. I normally don't keep you guys around for cleaning the kitchen, but I really don't have much more to do this evening, and I can't show you those until they're done, so unfortunately, y'all along for the ride. I'm not going to put this in the dishwasher because the amount of scrubbing that you have to do just to get it ready for the dishwasher means that it's already clean. Just finish cleaning it, rinse it out, and dry it off, put it back in your cabinet. And that's what we're going to do. There we go. One nice, clean, dry bowl. This fork is another story. There we go. A little more towel paper. Get anything out of your sink that should not go down the drain. I realize that some of my younger viewers may not have ever been taught how to clean a kitchen. because it really wasn't something that you did. Although, when I was a kid, at Thanksgiving dinner, which was when we would usually have chicken and dumplings, the adults would cook, and after the meal, it would be the kids' job to clean the kitchen, wash the dishes, put away everything, and in general, make the place spotless again. And you know what? It was always a lot of fun. My brother and I would always get in a fight over who got to wash and who got to dry the dishes, because drying was, interestingly enough, the preferred position if we were bickering, because the dryer could inspect the dishes for any kind of dirt on them, and if we were dissatisfied with the quality of them, we could scale them back into the soapy water and make the washer wash them again. Although I liked washing the dishes too when I was a kid. I was a weird little kid. But that aside, we'll just rinse out the sink here in a second and get moving on with our dinner. Yeah, that can go down too. Rinse out our sink. I like this fixture. I installed these sink fixtures when our old ones quit working and needed replaced, so I'm rather fond of them. That said, there we go. One nice clean, one nice clean aluminum sink. You notice the broth in that's starting to darken up and get cloudier, and that's good. It means it's almost done. I'd hazard a guess we could probably just tuck right into those right now and they'd be delicious. So after I get this sink dried off, that's exactly what we're probably going to do. In the meantime, here, you guys can see my nice, clean sink. Yeah, that's not exactly what y'all signed up for, I know, but still. Okay, looks done enough for me, so I'm turning it off, and we are getting a nice bowl. Now, I've got all the schmutz over here, the rolling pin and stuff like that, so I'm not going to put the thing where I usually do to show you because it's still a mess. What I am going to do is ladle a bunch of it out for my dinner. And if you guys can see that, get some nice dumplings. Oh yeah. Everyone loves chicken and dumplings, and I'm going to get a few more because I'm hungry. Looky there. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? Let me bring them over to the good camera so that you can see them here. With the steam coming up off of those. And ta-da! We've got chicken and dumplings. And they are going to be delicious. So, I'm going to let these cool. I am going to clean up the counter over here. And then I'm going to throw the stream back over to Noisy if he's still streaming. And if not, I'm going to find someone who is. In the meantime, because my stream is lagging and I don't know when this finishes and when it starts, I don't want to cut off the end of it before the end of the recording. So, unfortunately, you guys are stuck with me while I clean up the countertop over here. I'm sorry. And if you guys want to take off, that is fine. You know, go check out a couple of people and it will be great. That said, because I would like to capture the tail end of this, I am going to commence to clean my counter while the thing is still running. So have a wonderful evening, and if you want to stick around, you can feel free to chat to me. But if not, I understand. Have a great evening, and thank you for coming and cooking with me. So let's get cleaning. This always wash by hand. Of course, now I regret getting my sink all nice and clean because I'm just going to mess it up again. Although not much. All I need to do is give this a quick rinse. And it looks like the part where I'm showing you guys the dumplings is playing now, so I don't think I'm going to keep this going too much longer. Here's a fun little trick. Just pick this up and go bend it and pour it right into your trash can. Another fun little trick is you can set it on the edge of your counter. Let me show you guys this. Here's a good trick. Sweep everything up. Well, I can't quite get everything, but there you go. Push it right off the side. And look, nice waste disposal. There we go. A little bit more. And we can just grab a piece of towel paper. Now, if you get the towel paper, well, first you want to get as much of the dry stuff up as you can. There you go. We'll set that over there so we can get it in a minute. Now, get your towel paper wet, and this will pick up the residue of everything on there. And we can clean it with a cleanser in a little bit, but for right now, this just kind of picks up all the little pieces that are left over, and you can kind of feel as you go with your hand where it is. And you get it on this, you pick it up, and then that last little bit will be fine. Nice clean countertop, guys. All right. Wipe all that off. Got an apple going bad. There we go. Well, I can see over there that it's gotten to the point where I'm cleaning the kitchen, so I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to throw the stream over to, yeah, it looks like Noisy's still streaming. I'll throw the stream over to him in just a minute. Let me clean this cutting board. Oh! Here's what you guys have been waiting for. Taste test. Taste test. Mmm! That's perfect! No, I'm serious. It's perfect. You guys should be here. Come and get some dumplings. Anyone. They're here for you. Come get them. Mmm. Mmm. Oh. Mmm. Perfect. I'm going to get this into the dishwasher, and then we're going to throw the stream over to Noisy Boy Jr. Thanks again for hanging out with me, guys, and have just absolutely a wonderful evening. All right. Yeah, it's almost wrapping up. Okay, y'all. I'm throwing you over to Noisy. Good night.